Hi everyone, my name is Makayla Sherlow and I am going to be taking you through a quick summary of the first three theories we've touched on in learning theories thus far. The title of this summary is Learning: A Combination of Behavior, Cognition, and Social Interaction. To begin our discussion of learning theories, it is important to identify what a learning theory is. As stated by Hammond, Austin, Orcutt, and Rosso, theories are a way of thinking and a model of how things work, how principles are related, and what causes things to work together. There are many ways that one can retrieve and gain new knowledge and use it in different life situations. Similarly, there are many aspects that can affect how an individual learns, including the brain, the environment, as well as cultural and social contexts. This PowerPoint will help highlight three important theories: behaviorism, cognitivism, and social cognitivism, and why they are important in the implementation of counseling for counseling psychologists. The first learning theory that I will be discussing is behaviorism. First, it's important to identify what is behaviorism. The theory of behaviorism, according to the Zhu and Brown textbook, states that behaviorism is primarily concerned with observable and measurable aspects of human behavior. It is suggested that by learning through experimentation, individuals' behavior is affected in some type of way. There are two major supporters of behaviorism, and they are John B. Watson and B. F. Skinner. Watson was influenced by Pavlov's idea of classical conditioning, which occurs when a neutral stimulus is used to elicit a certain response, also known as an unconditioned response. Watson believed that children learn their behavior through stimulus-response type models. Similarly, Skinner expanded on Watson's idea of a stimulus-response model and created operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is the rewarding of part of a desired behavior or a random act that approaches it. With this knowledge, psychologists have based many studies and their understanding of behaviorism on these two types of conditioning. After going over behaviorism, one might ask, why is it important to understand the theory of behaviorism? It's important to be aware of in the classroom, as it helps teachers to understand why their students act in certain ways and can also act as a tool to improve problem behaviors. The next learning theory that I will be discussing is cognitive theory. What is cognitive theory and how do our cognitive abilities develop? This is the first question that one must identify before understanding what cognitive theory is. Jean Piaget was a big supporter and influencer of cognitive theory and developed a set of 4 stages of cognitive development. These stages include the sensory motor stage, the pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and the formal operational stage. Piaget believed that all children must go through these 4 stages in order to reach full cognitive development. However, some people believe that he didn't take into consideration the fact that some children progress faster than others, and he almost underestimated their capabilities. This information does help us to understand the fact that all individuals progress at a different rate, and that sometimes one person's cognitive abilities may be higher than others. This can also be useful to remember in the classroom when teachers are trying to decide what method of teaching will best work for their students based on the student's specific learning styles, types, and needs. The third and final theory that I will be discussing is social cognitive theory. It's important for us to first understand that there is a difference between social cognitive theory and cognitive theory. Cognitive theory focuses on one's ability to understand knowledge through cognitive processes. For instance, Jean Piaget's stages of cognitive development, which we discussed in the previous slide. However, social cognitive theory, as stated by Lewis and Carpendale, is the idea that in the development of cognition, there is a role of social interaction in such development. In regards to social cognitive learning, an important question is often raised. Does social interaction play a part in our ability to learn? The answer is yes. According to the article written by Lewis and Carpendale, they were able to determine that the executive skills individuals use for learning are embedded in social processes. Keeping this in mind, it is crucial to remember that how one thinks is influenced by several different aspects, both internal and external. Internal aspects include how the brain processes new information related to cognition and the physical state of the learner, i.e., is someone very tired? Are they hungry? Are they under internal stress? Some external aspects include that of one's environment and the social interactions and relationships that an individual has, clearly related to socialization. This can also be important to remember when teaching, as educators must take all of these different aspects that affect learning into consideration in order to do their best teaching for all students. After briefly summarizing these three learning theories, behaviorism, cognitive theory, and social cognitive theory, it is important to consider its possible implications for practice in counseling psychology. So far, we have highlighted the importance of understanding and being aware of these three theories from a teaching perspective. However, it is important that as counselors, we understand and utilize these series of learning to better inform our practices and our own learning as well. To begin, why behaviorism? It is crucial for a counselor to understand the theory of behaviorism to better understand certain behaviors that a client may come in describing and/or complaining about. To best help clients, counselors need to be aware of positive and negative reinforcements, punishments, and how these things can impact an individual's behavior. As for cognitive theories of learning can help counselors to understand how their clients are able to learn from the perspective of the brain, neuropsychology, and its development during many different stages of life. Finally, social cognitive theory is important to take into consideration so that we can incorporate it with our knowledge of social interactions. Social interactions are important to consider as they can have a profound influence on an individual's behavior, and how they think and learn can be affected by these relationships as well. Just as it is important for counselors to practice different types of therapy to conduct successful counseling, it is also important for counselors to be aware of different ways that their clients have and continue to learn. Clients may learn through experimentation and how they behave, how their brain operates, or how they socialize. And as counselors, we need to consider the theories surrounding these different modes of learning in order to inflict possible change and improve the chances of our clients being successful in their therapeutic journey. Thank you everyone for watching my PowerPoint, and I hope you were able to learn a little bit more about behaviorism, cognitive theory, and social cognitive theory and its implications for counseling practice.